You certainly don't need me to tell you how hard the last few years have been for Intel's desktop CPU division. From overheating processors to concerns of instability across pretty much the entire desktop 13th and 14th gen lineup, it's been far from a drama-free period for the company that was for decades the market leader in desktop processors. Fast forward to late 2024, and Intel had hoped to put the woes of 13th and 14th gen behind them with new Core Ultra CPUs. The good news, they managed to sort out the power consumption issues in a big way, building something that was architecturally much better and much more power efficient. But they had a problem, the performance. And that's where these come in, Intel's brand new Core Ultra 250K Plus and 270K Plus desktop CPUs. And spoiler alert, these brand new chips from Intel are seriously quick and have a pleasant surprise when it comes to price. So what's the catch? Well, let's dive into it. 2026 has not been a good year for PC hardware so far, and with PC building well down against a backdrop of rising memory and GPU price increases, it's not a year where we're expecting to see all that much by way of new hardware. But enter this, the Intel Core Ultra 200 Plus series. Now I should start by saying that it's evident from the name alone that these CPUs are not a brand new generation or brand new architecture, and they're not that materially different to the Core Ultra processors we already have. I must admit, when I first heard Intel were releasing new CPUs with a plus naming convention, I feared for the inevitable disappointment that often follows from what is usually just a few parts that have a bit more power and some higher speeds and perhaps don't offer much by way of additional performance. And from a specification standpoint, there are some minor but important differences between these Plus CPUs and their non-Plus counterparts, but nothing that on paper will blow you away. We're mainly talking about a couple of extra E-cores, some small changes to boost clock speeds, and a little bit extra cache. Perhaps the bigger on-paper change is the launch MSRPs of these two new CPUs. The Core Ultra 250K Plus launches for just $199. That's more than $100 lower than the previous gen Core Ultra 5 245K, and bringing with it what Intel claim is an average gaming uplift of 13%. You gain 4 more E-cores and a modest 100 MHz boost to the maximum turbo frequency of the CPU. The bigger change is that Intel say these new chips can actually run faster on more cores at once, and means that while single-threaded performance may not look that much different on paper, you'll see higher speeds across more cores at once, which is a big deal. The Core Ultra 270K Plus also sees upgrades. This chip gives you 4 more E-cores alike while keeping the same boost clock speed on paper. The MSRP for the Core Ultra 7 Plus CPU has also been, let's say, revised when compared to its non-Plus counterpart, clocking in for just $299. That's around $100 cheaper than the Core Ultra 7 265K Plus landed for when it was first announced. So big price drops across the board then, which perhaps indicate that maybe Intel's not that confident about the performance of these new CPUs. Well, not so fast, because the gaming benchmark data might surprise you. Now, as always, we tested both of these CPUs across a range of the latest AAA titles at 1080p, 1440p, and 4K. At lower resolutions, you're more bound by the CPU, but our choice of an RTX 5090 GPU for our testing aims to alleviate as much of a GPU-bound bottleneck as we physically can. Starting off with Arc Raiders at 1080p, and the CPUs to really look out for here are of course these two Plus chips, but also the 9600X and 9700X. They're AMD's closest like-for-like competition. The Ultra 5 250K Plus clocks in over 200 frames per second, representing over 50 FPS more than the 9600X, while the 270K Plus not only beats out the 9700X, but also the 7800X 3D, a chip that was AMD's fastest CPU not that long ago. Tune up to 1440p and the Ultra 5 250K Plus performs incredibly well again, beating out the 7800X 3D, leaving the 9600X for dust, and performing slightly better than the still pretty impressive 270K Plus, which delivers just over 200 FPS. Even at 4K, where we're more bound by a GPU than a CPU bottleneck, both the Plus parts provide strong results, with 187 and 182 frames per second respectively. The Ultra 5 losing out to the 7800X 3D by just about 2 frames per second. Move through into Battlefield 6, and the Core Ultra 5 250K Plus with its lower core count does struggle a little bit more here. With 177 frames per second on average, it still provides a 6 FPS uplift over the 245K and a very strong performance improvement on the 9600X. The Ultra 7 270 270K Plus actually clocks in marginally lower than its last generation counterpart, but does beat out the 7800 X3D. Tune up to 1440p and the Core Ultra 5 250K Plus clocks in at 165, the 270K Plus at 172. Quick question, by the way, is it 250K or 270K? 270K?
270K plus, 250K plus.
Forgive me if I'm being inconsistent here. Both of these CPUs delivering strong performance and beating out their AMD counterparts. At 4K, again, we see a similar pattern, the 9600X being ruined by the Ultra 5 Plus and the Ultra 7 Plus sitting just below the 7800 X3D at pretty much the top of the chart. In Call of Duty's Black Ops 7 Zombies, starting off at 1080p, all this is rasterization high settings, by the way, the Ultra 5 Plus CPU delivers 234 to the Ultra 7 Plus's CPU's 233, both of which are decisively better than the Ryzen competition. Move through to the 1440p resolution and the Plus CPUs provide respectable results. This is one of the only times where the Ultra 7 270K doesn't beat the 9700X, but again, they are tied with 201.1 each. The Ultra 5 providing a fantastic set of results. Move the resolution up to 4K, and here we see both of the Ultra 5 and 7 Plus CPUs perform admirably well, beating out the 97 and 9600X from AMD. Move through to Fortnite at 1080p competitive settings. That's everything on low except the render distance, which is set to far, something which will absolutely introduce a massive CPU bottleneck, which is perfect for our testing. And here, the Ultra 5 Plus part does beat out the 9600X, but not really by a particularly considerable margin. The Ultra 7 Plus CPU beats out the 7800 X3D, but interestingly, the non-Plus CPUs seem to perform better in Fortnite. Really weird. We retested. What I would say is we've got such a strong CPU bottleneck, and variation within the scene is always going to introduce a few more FPS here and there. Move through to Fortnite at 4K high settings to see the impact this is going to have, and here we see both the Ultra 7 and Ultra 5 Plus CPUs really improve upon the non-Plus parts and beat out the AMD competition. In Marvel's Rivals, which can be a challenging game from a CPU point of view, we see the Ultra 5 and Ultra 7 Plus CPUs put in respectable results. The Ultra 5 beats out the 9600X, but neither is capable of beating the 9700X or 7800 X3D. That's at 1080p, tune up to 1440p, and we do see a few changes. Here, the Ultra 5 and 7 Plus again perform well, beating out their non-Plus counterparts, but falling short to the 9700X and certainly to the 7800 X3D. At 4K high, which is the final test, we see the Ultra 5 and Ultra 7 Plus perhaps provide the most underwhelming result of them all, but they're still not a million miles away from the AMD competition. And as seen from the gaming benchmarks, generally speaking, these new CPUs are faster than what AMD has to offer pretty much across the board on a like-for-like pricing basis. So impressive performance, big price drops versus the non-Plus parts, and if you've been keeping tabs on motherboard prices, competitive options for Intel boards too. What's not to love with these new Intel processors? Well, if you want to build a gaming PC that offers the absolute maximum price to performance in the current market, they're fantastic. The Ultra 5 250K Plus in particular is the slam dunk choice, especially compared to the Ryzen 5 9600X. But buying these chips still comes with one big caveat. And I promise the title of this video is not clickbait. That caveat is upgradability. We're expecting this range of CPUs to be Intel's last using their current socket. And that's a heavy consideration which weighs on the mind of someone looking to pick up one of these new CPUs, especially when you consider the incredible upgrade paths AMD's socket has offered in recent years. It's also clear that these chips don't dethrone AMD's top-end X3D options when it comes to outright top-end gaming performance. And while you certainly wouldn't expect them to for the kind of prices these clock in at, that will also weigh in the decision making of those with one eye on the future and upgrades. What's clear from these CPUs is that they create a dilemma for those of you looking to build a gaming PC in 2026. For modest builds, go with a Ryzen 5 9600X and lose out on gaming performance in some titles in a big way, or go for the 250K Plus and lose out on those really great upgrade paths. For mid-range builds, go for the Ryzen 9700X, leave a lot of performance on the table, or save money with the 270K Plus, gain performance, but close off upgrades to that exciting X3D tier of CPUs. But this dilemma is in some ways exciting and a big relief. James, how can a dilemma be exciting? Well, because it's not a dilemma that we've faced in the PC building market when it comes to CPUs for a number of years at this point. AMD have well and truly ruled the roost, and Intel's incredibly competitive pricing that sees them look to undercut the existing options on the market, something that, by the way, the current Intel Core Ultra 200 series is already quietly doing, you just may have not noticed it, is something that's pretty ballsy and really gives AMD a bit of pressure for the first time in what feels like years. I commend Intel for bringing these new CPUs out right now, but you can't help but feel like some super price competitive CPUs in a market where memory has doubled or tripled kind of feels like the right product, but maybe at the wrong time. A real step forward for Team Blue, but there's still questions for me over upgradability and still questions over whether these are actually chips that you guys will be buying right now with the current state of the market. Let me know what you guys think of these CPUs in the comments. Is the performance jump really exciting as we've seen in the benchmarks, or are these perhaps CPUs that look great but have been released at a time where people just aren't building? Let me know in the comments down below.